that's like what I do.
What's up, bro?
Look at all your
Oh yeah, no, I mean I eat about 5 eggs in the morning and that pretty much sets me up the whole day. But like it makes, I don't know how, but like I feel like I need to eat more.
Yeah, it's good. Well, because the eggs, if you don't overcook them, there's a lot of live enzymes that help break it down. It's like a really good protein to assimilate, as opposed to like a whey protein. It doesn't have all those live enzymes in it. So that's why taking protein with some vegetables and stuff, like in a super shake, is ideal. Protein? Well, you just got to get it. But you got to get it.
I'm really good about eating my stuff.
Yeah,
I set alarms every day.
That's good.
I have like 4 alarms on my phone. It's like, oh, time to eat.
That's what you need. So it's eat like, you know, all your proteins, like eating yogurts and all that sort of
I do Greek, for my breakfast I do bacon, Greek yogurt, and eggs.
See, I mean, to be honest, that's probably, I mean, it is a better way to do it, right, Steve?
What?
Eating like live proteins is going to be a lot better for you.
Well, eggs just have all the essential amino acids and it's got a lot of cholesterol, which is good for testosterone, so I like that. Quinoa is another one that has all the essential amino acids.
But don't you say like going, someone who wants to eat like whole foods over just powdered whey protein?
Yeah, 100%, way better.
I even like the old Klokov video where he gets up in the middle of the night and he literally eats like concentrated yogurt. It's like a block of just concentrated yogurt. It's like chalk. But that would be a better protein than a whey protein because it's still going to have the enzymes. Potentially, it could still have the enzymes from when it came from the cow.
That's
probiotic.
All I take is I do the electrolytes in a pre-workout with creatine monohydrate. Supplements.
So we were talking ketosis. And we had a little debate online with him.
Yeah.
And so when I did the my master's summer institute,
I saw your post. Yeah.
They were just, that quote was pretty cool. They were just saying that fat burns in a carbohydrate flame. So meaning your body is trying to just burn carbohydrates. Fats, when they come in, they're just like a second fuel in that process. So the point is
slower.
Yeah, it's a slower fuel. So your body's always trying to burn carbohydrates. It only burns fat if it has to. And typically when it does, it's a slower process and it's not going to be as effective in converting energy quickly for an explosive movement. But he was just saying, he when he did a lot or more fat-based diet, he was losing fat, which I was saying he just probably someone like you've talked to guys before that just they're overeating carbs. His body just probably can't handle a lot of carbs.
That's right? Obesity is bad in my dad is my height and 300. He was 302. He's lost weight. But
well, ketosis would be great for that. Yeah. So they say ketosis is a great therapy, like a weight therapy, but it's just not a good athlete. Yeah. An athletic diet.
He's been doing it with me, and he's lost 25 pounds.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, that's good. But he's not.
He's not an athlete. Yeah, he's not a competing athlete either.
Right.
You can't throw 97 and not went to 100.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Well, Shelby Miller did it, and he was like, it was like a big story. You know, he went into his off season, did the ketosis, lost a bunch of weight, got his body fat down, and then he had Tommy John surgery. I'm not saying that's a direct correlation,
but you gotta look at it that way. So what could have happened is his body was less explosive and therefore less energy's coming up.
He was throwing harder. He was throwing harder.
Yeah, but it's not that it would slow you down. It could be that remember the arm's a generator. It could be that you're having to pick up more just to keep the speed there.
I'm not saying for a performance enhancement or anything. My whole thing on it is if you're going to play a 162 game season and you have to put your body through that much rigor and recover, you need carbohydrates. We're not bodybuilders. We're not, professional actors that have to have a chiseled six-pack and be at 5% body fat.
Yeah.
We're baseball players, and we're just trying to perform at our highest level and stay healthy.
And what have been cool with him is, and of course you need to study more than just him, but what have been cool with him is to see when he came in, was the muscle function still as explosive? Like, was his vertical jump still as high? Was his sprint still as high? To see, okay, was the power still there? If it wasn't, could have been an overcompensation thing. And if it was, you're making a great point. It could have been,
Breaking down.
hey, let's test him in 2 months through this diet in season. Is he still explosive, or is he breaking down?
That was my big thing, was like, I didn't know what I was going to do in season, because I did it this off season and it's worked exactly what I wanted to do. I was like, I kept my muscle mass, like I'm still over 200 pounds, and you know, I'm not a super tall guy, and I'm still over 200 pounds, but I lost the fat. And I was like, but there's no way I could do this this season. I would die.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, because your body is literally just craving carbohydrates because it needs quick fuel.
Yeah, and that's actually the whole reason I even commented on it. And I was just like, I want to see what he has to say about it, because it's like, I can't do this in the season. I got to change whenever it's time to throw a ball. I can never step on a mound with no carbs in my system.
I don't know. Me personally, I could have never done it because I'm hypoglycemic. I need more carbs, or my insulin is too high. And then I don't think, because I wanted to power lift at least 2 days a week, 2 to 3.
Yeah.
I needed to be on carbs in this power lift. If not, my second set, I want to go home.
Yeah, I've been lifting like really heavy at 16 hours fasted.
Yeah,
And it was brutal for a week.
it's brutal, but it's good mental training. But at the end of the day, it'd be interesting to see if you took athletes on a carbohydrate diet, power athletes, and then on a ketosis diet, who stamina-wise is pushing farther.
Yeah, because at the end of my workouts, I'm dead. I start off about the same, like strength, reps, about the same. But by the end of the workout, I'm dead. Because I used to do these like 5 rounds of these circuits, like quick twitch, like speed broken.
Gonna follow me around?
Yeah, bro.
One step down.
Big problem with keeping fat.
You throwing so hard is linked to your body's wanting carbohydrates.
Yeah.
You know, you obviously are explosive, and your body actually wants the fuel that makes it the more explosive.
Yeah.
It probably just wants
And that's
too
the
much
thing
of
is,
it.
yeah, I haven't thrown a ball since I've been doing it. Because I'm doing the 6 weeks off. I'm at like 3 weeks, which I'm at 3 weeks in ketosis, which is probably 2 weeks in ketosis.
So once again, I think it's a good study they need to do and see someone like a pitcher who's constantly having to recover. How are they recovering well on a ketosis diet? Because I know, I'm not going to name some, I know more than Miller, the other guys that have gotten injured on those diets. I'm not saying it's linked, I'm just saying I wonder if there is an issue with recovery.
Well, I mean, that's why I like our nutrition approach to it, of using nutrient timing, where it's going to be protein and carbs, 1 to 3 hours post-workout, protein, fats, all those other times. So you're not overloading your body constantly with carbohydrates, so you're minimizing that fat gain, but you're still getting the benefits of the carbohydrates for recovery and building
That's what we
muscle.
said, as opposed to, you know, if you're going to eat a bunch of pancakes with maple syrup in the morning and not lift till like 3 o'clock, it's probably not a good timing of carbohydrate intake.
Right, it's not.
So eating, you know, the lunch, eating carbohydrates maybe right before you go into the lift, or like you said, right after.
Post-workout, yeah.
But I mean, what's the problem with taking them before? I mean,
I wouldn't be too concerned. The only thing it would, and I specifically would do that for a guy who's looking to lose lose fat, but also is wanting to build muscle and maintain. So that's when I would really sit there and be like, okay, then we have to get good at the nutrient timing. It's protein and carbs post-workout, because that's when your body can best handle it and need it for recovery and building muscle, and then all other meals, protein, fats.
yeah.
So it's kind of a blend of the two.
I think that's what your diet's become. It's become more nutrient timing than ketosis, because like you said, you do carb load.
After I work out, and when I got back to throwing, when I was planning on trying to do is putting some carbs in my system before I get throws. Because I know, like that was the one thing I was afraid of, was when you don't have carbs in your system, the fat doesn't hit your muscles and explode like carbs do. Like carbs get in your muscles as soon as you want to use it.
Quickly, yeah.
That's your quick twitch.
Well, and that's the other thing. It's like if you're going to do a ketosis or ketogenic diet and you do carb load, they said it takes 2 to 3 on average to get back into ketosis, 3 days, and up to 7 days it can take just to get back on ketosis. So if you're pitching every 7 days or 5 days, and you're carb loading the day or the right after or the before or after, 2 to 3 days, you know, maybe you're back into ketosis, but it's like this in and out effect. I don't know, is that something
with your body?
But is that something like a dietitian would support for ketosis? I'm gonna constantly go in and out of ketosis. Is that something you want? I don't know.
And that again goes back to the discussion of in season. Is that good for you in season while you're trying to recover in between starts? Right, especially if 162 games.
Right, if you're going in and out of ketosis, is that a good recovery system to be in? That's the question.
And that was a thing. That was like I commented on it, and I was like, maybe he'll tell me something for in season, because like I know how I feel on this diet, and I couldn't throw 7-8 innings right now on this diet, and I couldn't do it. And even though I had a lot more body fat in the season, I could throw 7-8 innings.
Right.
Like if I was telling you I could throw 120, 130 pitches and not losing velocity.
And I wonder, do you know if people on ketogenic diets, like the Atkins diets, which was no sugar, they would binge? Do you have any binge moments?
I don't binge.
Do you ever feel that you want to binge?
I do, but I'm a very disciplined person. I don't. When I say I'm gonna do something like that, like a diet, I won't do it. I won't touch it.
I feel like that's hard too. When you cut things so dramatically, you want to kind of binge on.
Oh, you want to.
As opposed to balancing.
You want to.
Yeah.
I don't let myself do that. Like ever. It's not 1 gram of sugar.
You want me to film you and get in some nutritional data?
No.
This is going to be a nutrition episode.
I know. I shoot the show, man. I hide behind the camera. I'm not a ham.
You should just go up to guys and be like, so how did you eat before the game? And do the whole thing on nutrition. I mean, before you're lifting.
Yeah.
And be like, I had a Pop-Tart. Be like, come on, dude.
No, these guys actually eat good.
Not like Jag.
Albert's gained 14 pounds since he's been here through 90, and he's gained. Zach, how much weight have you gained?
Like 100 pounds since he started. Jesus.
16.
Since like I first started.
Since he first started.
I gained 40.
Yeah.
No. Since you've been here.
Since he's been
16,
here.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, but since he started.
Why didn't you say with some confidence? Be proud of yourself, bro.
No, seriously, when you started the program,
I was like 118.
And you're what now?
166.
He was 118. Look how little he was when he started the program. Now he's 166. But that was like 3 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, I graduated high school at 150. Yeah, I'm about 207.
You know what? I graduated high school at 150.
I'm like 207 now. I also graduated high school throwing 78 miles an hour.
I graduated high school with a torn rotator cuff.
Did you? I didn't tear mine until a few months after high school. I tore my elbow. I tore my elbow.
that camera on my face if you know what's good for you.
Oh, come on, try it, bro.
You shut your mouth.
I'll smack you with this camera.
You shut your mouth.
You shut your mouth if you knew it was good for you.
Oh, man. I hate ab routine.
Everybody hates ab routine, bro. But it's important.
Campo's out 115.
Come on, get it up. Yeah! Just be careful with the jumping it forward.
Yeah.
If anything, a half inch back.
Yeah. He's technically a testimonial, but he never bought my program, so I want him to tell a story though.
Okay, cool.
So tell him first when you were homeless and all that. So.
Well, that was in the flood. We in 2016 that flood hit Baton Rouge, and my neighborhood got flooded really bad. We lost our house, all of our cars.
Oh yeah, that was
wow,
the big flood.
Yeah, in 2016.
I
Yeah.
remember that.
That was crazy. But that was when I was really started coming to my own on the mound, and I was going into my senior season, and or actually I was going into my second year at Baton Rouge Community College, and I struggled.
Which is where Cody Hall went. He knows Cody Hall.
Cool.
Yeah, and I was struggling there, like on the mound, and that was when I first started coming across y'all's videos, and I really wanted to like come to a camp and stuff like that, but didn't really have like the extra income. And so I was watching his videos, or y'all's videos, you know, on YouTube, and it would say stuff like, you gotta have better power cleans, and he would, you know, post a study like, guys who power clean more throw harder, guys who weigh more throw harder, guys who have higher box jumps throw harder, guys with big bench presses have good shoulders, you know. And so I'd watch that and kind of go on my own, like, all right, now that I have that direction, I know I need to get good at power cleans. Then I would go start doing my research, like, how do you clean? How do you power clean? How do you hang clean? Like, how do you do a split jerk? How do you do a snap? How do you do an overhead squat? And I'd start making my own programs to get better at those metrics. So it was like, basically, from our channel, I got the metrics that I needed to do. I need to be explosive. I need to be fast. I need to be fast. I need to be quick fast, like the 10-yard sprint.
Right.
Not just top speed, but I have to get to my top speed.
Good,
fast.
man.
And it was like, so I started doing it. I had a thing, I wish I still had it, but I don't have it anymore. I had a dry erase board, and I literally wrote 60 time, 10-yard dash time, the 5-10-5 drill, my box jump, my vertical, my one-leg box jump, squat, bench, deadlift, clean. Like, I wrote it all down, and every day, or like every week, I was keeping track, and I was like, ooh, hit a new PR on this, and I would like write it down.
There you go.
And I was just trying to like get those numbers. Like, it's like
when you started PRing, how addicting did it get?
Oh my God.
Right?
Well, show him your one leg box jump.
Oh, that was.
Zoom in on
This is off my pitching leg.
Wow. Good hip mobility too, man.
Yeah.
That was, and then there's my 2-leg, current best 2-leg.
How high was that?
About 5.5.
5.5?
A little bit less than 5.5, like 5.5.
Let's talk about how hard you were going before
5
you
inches,
took that
huh?
road.
Yeah, so I was down around 82 my first year of college, like 84 my second year, and still around 84, 85 when I started running across y'all's videos, and since then I've gone up to the low to mid 90s, and you know, I've hit a couple of ticks above the mid 90s on occasion, but mostly more the 90, 92, 93, 94, 95.
Wow, man.
And then I've thrown 95 a good bit now, you know, after a few years of.
So are you still training? Are you still playing at Baton Rouge, or?
No, I'm in indie ball right now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, out in the Pecos League.
Okay, right on.
So
you know Juan?
Juan.
Espinosa.
Espinosa's up in, he's not in Pecos.
He's not in Pecos anymore?
That's Sonoma team. They're not. That Sonoma team's not Pecos, right? I forgot
No,
about that.
they're
It's
not.
a different league.
Pacific Association or something.
Yeah, and I'm looking to move
Well,
up.
Al's over there.
Al's in the Pecos or Pacific?
Al plays for the Cowboys.
Alpine Cowboys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the big Greek god. Well, he shaved his head this time.
Oh, with the little
goat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who that is. Yeah, that's a big dude.
Cage Cascone's playing somewhere too.
Cool.
Indie ball, but I don't know what
He
team.
wanted to come down, and did he reach out to you?
I follow him on Instagram, so I see his posts.
But yeah, that was my last chance. You know, I had a rough career with the injuries and stuff, so I took all the stuff that y'all had. When I got to Velocity, I drove to an open tryout out in Houston and just left it all out there. And they liked the velo. They signed me on the spot.
That's awesome, man.
You know, that's why I was so thankful to Brent when I met him. That's the first thing I told you was thank you. It was
That's cool.
it was because you don't go to open tryout and get signed on your command. You know, like my career would be over. You don't go to
good job opportunity, man.
yeah. You don't go to open tryout and they say you're 85 on the corner. Like here's a contract.
Right.
That's not how it works.
I know just my time growing up, I know a bunch of guys that were really good pitchers that were low to mid 80s guys and never got out of college. You know, and it's like they were way better pitchers than me. I just figured out how to get the velo, and I got the opportunity to play professional baseball.
Yeah, and you run across guys like that. Like there's a guy that I went to college with my senior year. He should have got a chance. So good. At 35. I think he topped 86, and nobody gave him a shot.
Right.
And he was a phenomenal pitcher, command of 4 pitches in any count. And I was like, he could have had success, but you don't get a chance if you don't throw hard enough.
Right. Velo's it's the currency, man.
I look at it as the key, man. It opens the door. Like you still got to perform once you walk in, but you don't even get to come inside.
Right.
You don't, you know.
Right.
And so that's why I was just grateful that I was able to find the Velocity. It was just my career wouldn't be here at all.
Right.
You know, because I got released from high school and 2 colleges.
Right.
That was in 3 years.
I just love hearing too, like the guys from just the free content. Like I always look at it as like,
I never paid a dime.
right, just from the free content. Like I feel like we put out better information than 95% of like other people's just paid stuff.
Of course we do.
Yeah.
We're getting sued for something.
Yeah, I know.
That was
But it's the biggest compliment when it's like a guy who just studies the videos and watches the videos and actually applies it and learns it, and that's awesome, man.
You have to really want it to do that. Because
Right,
you don't
exactly.
have you guys, like, you're talking to you guys now and blown away at the knowledge you have, but you don't have access to that online. I can't ask you a question online.
Well, you can. We always encourage guys to reach out and talk.
But you know, it's hard to have like a conversation.
It doesn't feel as inviting. Like I think that's the difference between social media and real interaction. Is like when you're with someone, you mannerisms. I kind of give you. I'm like, hey, I want to help you.
Well, it's human. It's how we're supposed to do it.
People on social media are like, I'm afraid. I don't want to text him. He'll never get it.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. Well, my whole thing
But we answer everything on
I don't
social
ever want to
media.
sound like I'm challenging somebody when I say something. Like when I said I was doing ketogenic, I didn't want to ever sound like it was like, well, I do it, and you know.
But the thing is, I appreciate that. That's being respectful. But that doesn't bother me.
No.
Because I learn in debate, and debate is a challenge. Right?
Yeah.
But it's like a game of basketball. At the end, you're like, hey, I beat you. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know? It's like,
I don't take it
good
that
debate.
easy.
Thank you.
And that's why that's the whole thing is like in person your questions can come off how you want them to.
Right.
You know, on social media when I comment on Instagram posts, it could really come off as somebody being snarky.
Right. Oh, 100%.
Well, I don't eat carbs, so you must not need them.
Right.
I don't want to be that
care
guy.
about that because I think, you know, we're getting not to get on a soapbox, but we're getting too like sensitive and all this. Like people just need to relax and be like, look, you can't take it too seriously when someone's texting you because you don't really know the context. You don't know where they're coming from. Most of the times I misinterpret. I'm like, is this guy talking shit to me? And I'm like, no, he's not. I thought he was. It's a hard place to be. I just wish people wouldn't be so sensitive.
Yeah.
Because like with this lawsuit, which frustrated me, it's like, are we really in a place to where you have to ask someone's permission before you talk about them on social media? I mean, is that what we want in this country? Like before I can talk about someone, I have to be, hey, do you mind if I talk about you?
Yeah.
Oh, I can?
Is there sign a release?
All right, thank you.
Sign a release for what you do on national television?
I mean, first of all, that doesn't fall within our Constitution as far as I'm aware of.
Yeah.
You know, but that's the problem. I think people are getting way too sensitive. And you're being really respectful when, hey, I'm not trying to argue, debate, but I don't know, the way I grew up, you could do that. To tell you the truth, if you respected someone when I grew up, you challenged them. You're full of crap.
Yeah.
If you didn't respect them, you're like, whatever, the guy doesn't know what he's talking about, and you walk away.
Move on.
Right.
When someone actually wants to debate with you, I feel like that in itself is respect.
Well,
Right.
I respected your knowledge. Like I wanted to know where you're coming from. Like why do they say that carbs are necessary? Because it's like I'm trying this thing, and the last thing I want to do is show up next season and break down.
But here, it's same thing too, to be honest. When I learn something, and you know, I've been studying it, but I don't know it. Like I don't actually watch the liver convert to ketosis, and I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
I'm learning this information. I throw it out there because I think, you know what, it's probably on to something, and I like the debate because I keep learning more. Hey, you made some good points. You know, I like that.
Yeah.
Or no, I didn't like your points. Whatever. The point is, the debate and social media is a platform for us all to learn, and I think that's why we can't tamper with it by trying to make it permission based. It needs to be free because we're learning in those debates quickly.
Well, and like I said, from the free content, I was able to build a lot of extra velocity because I would watch the pitcher things, and you know, like you're always like, he gets velocity from this, like he does this exceptionally well, and I was like, okay,
I gotta do that. Yeah.
I'll learn
Right.
that, you know.
Right.
And then
Or here's what he
broke
did
the code.
poorly.
He
Right.
hacked the code.
Right.
He hacked the code.
No, that's cool though, man. I like that.
I would start getting people to video me in slow motion. I'd be like, well, are my hips, you know, am I doing hip to shoulder separation? Like, am I, you talk about, is it ipsilateral versus contralateral tilt? And I'm like, well, which one am I doing? Like, what am I doing wrong? And so is my hip getting all the way through, or, you know, is my front side stiffening up if you want? So I did that, and then you would talk about, like, in order to do that, you have to have a strong back squat, and, you know, so then I was like, all right. So now I gotta learn how to do it with mechanics, and I gotta learn how to do it in the gym, and then I would start doing other research, and like between it all, I was able to kind of pull it together and
Right.
make my own programs, and just off of free content.
Well, it's the coolest thing too is because you basically became your own coach, which is like a lot of guys can't do that. But that goes back to the social media stuff too, that everybody's like, you shouldn't be sensitive because no one person has all the answers. So you go out and you learn what everything is, you educate yourself, and the answers are starting, like you're saying, like you go there, this is what they do well, this is what other research is saying, this is what I have to do to build it, and you come to your own conclusions. And I feel like too many people just want to, you know, go on social media and just grab like every little
Like
thing
an
without doing any research behind it.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you did your research and pulled it all together, which is really cool.
It's something I really wanted to do. Like it wasn't, I didn't do it on a whim. You know, it wasn't like, here's a YouTube video and
Right.
now I'm throwing 90. Like,
Yeah.
it was, you know, it was something that I was.
A lot of work.
Yeah, it was like hours and hours of research because I didn't have the all-encompassing, like the all in one place consolidated information. It's like I got to find it here. Oh, I need hip mobility. Well, first off, what the heck is hip mobility, and how's that different than hip flexibility?
Right.
And where do I need it? What kind of hip mobility?
Yeah,
Right.
hip goes a lot of different directions.
How
you know?
far do I need it to go?
Right.
Yeah, and then how do I get it? And can I get it and still stay strong? Like, how do I implement it into a training program? I don't have 10 hours a day to do mobility, arm care, training, mechanics, like
Nutrition, everything,
like,
right.
I don't have 10 hours a day. You know, I work in the off season. It's like, so yeah, like finding a way to put it in a program, finding a way to do it with weightlifting, with nutrition, like, and it all started like it's just watching the videos. Like,
Very cool, man.
That's why I wanted to come in and just thank you in person. I would not have a career.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
I couldn't show up and light up a gun.
That's good. Hey, you